Oh man, it's quite awesome. So your
Yeah.
biggest hero, if you had to pick as a race driver, who is it?
Um, so I always look up to Rick Mears, and the reason I look up to Rick Mears is he is very understated. He's not flashy. He's like drives with precision. He's extremely professional. But one of the biggest things I respect about him is he was with the same team for like forever. Like he's Penske's guy. So when I think about that, when I go and work for a race team, my entire mindset is, okay, what can I do to make myself so invaluable that I drive for this team or with this team for as long as possible? And that it was instilled by an example that Rick Mears has shown. Like he still works for Penske. He's still a vital role at Penske. And for that, I kind of you have to respect that. So I always look up to him. You see a lot of drivers that jump around from looking for the best deal or the best cars, and F1 it's cutthroat. If the car's not good enough, you don't look good. If you don't look good enough, the car doesn't look good enough, and then you have to bail or you get fired, and it's just really cutthroat. But I enjoy being in professional motorsports to elevate the team and everyone around me, and also be elevated within that team together. That's the whole point of the whole team process of motorsports. And I really look up to that. And that was kind of like brought up, by following Rick.
Got it. What steps did you take to begin your racing career?
First step, um, chase some go kart down the street where I knew he couldn't get away because it was a dead end road. Um, my parents, mostly my father, because my mom at first didn't understand like what it was all about. I think my first stock car race, she spent the entire day in the bathroom, like sick, scared. So, and I was like 15 at the time or 14 at the time. So, but my steps were go-kart racing. I started on dirt ovals in Henry County, Virginia. Together at 14, I built a stock car with my dad. So we found an old Pontiac Astri, which is like a Chevy Vega. They're very rare, um, and for $50. And I actually drove it home at 14. I should not have been able to drive it home. Um, no one should have been able to drive that home. It had a burnt out clutch, and I just followed my dad home. So at 14, I already knew how to drive a manual because my parents are cool, and always have been. At that point, we burnt out the rest of the clutch, and then spent the next several months just gutting it, taking all the windows out, taking everything out of it, and then we built that up together into a stock car. So I raced that my first year when I was 15. And I went back and forth from go-kart racing to open wheel cars throughout Michigan and Canada. Basically, you run out of money. I was very successful in go-kart racing, was a factory driver for several different manufacturers. So I always had the opportunity to race extremely inexpensive, like very, very cheap, sometimes for no cost in go-karting. But when you wanted to go race cars, like no one cared who you were. They just, can you pay your bill? And so I had to like really work hard to raise money and sponsorships and stuff to go race formula cars in Canada. And then at the time, the exchange rate was extremely good for Americans. It was like for every dollar you could get a buck 50. So Canadian racing was very inexpensive at the time because your dollar could go a long way. So I started racing formula cars up there and did very well, um, with no experience. And from that, I got some opportunities to kind of test Canadian NASCAR with a Canadian NASCAR team, CASCAR at the time.